everybody to the third episode of Know You're Drunk. I have Mr. Keith Winchester here, our local mad genius upstairs who makes all the beautiful science and artwork and things that you guys see. We call them the mad scientists because they always make it work and they always have a bunch of fun. We figured this time we might as well talk about one of our favorite holidays in the beer industry. St. Patrick's Day. Pretty much just a whole holiday focused around getting hammered off of dark, heavy beer and great Irish whiskey. We are going to do some Irish beers that we sell here at Fisher Beverage. Obviously starting with the main staple that everybody knows, the good old Guinness. And then we got Guinness Blonde, some Stout, Killian's. We're gonna finish it off with the left-hand milk stout. You can do a cow bomb with the milk stout instead of an Irish car bomb. Same concept, different beer. Well, I guess should we start drinking?
Should have a Guinness, yeah.
Yeah.
How long has the Guinness brewery been at their craft? Forever.
1759. That's what it says here. Best enjoyed, poured in a glass. This is gonna be a nitro beer, so it's gonna be a little thicker, a little creamier. Guinness, Arthur Guinness, signed a 9,000-year lease for €100 with an annual installment of $45. So that's how much the Guinness St. James Gate Brewery pays to be a thing in Dublin, Ireland.
That's a pretty good lease. I don't think. I mean that is rent control for a really long period of time.
I think I'm gonna call.
You think they made their money back yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
maybe a couple.
Okay.
I think it said it's served in over 150 countries. Do you want to try it?
Sure.
So Guinness has to be done with appropriate pour, a proper pour. There's a whole bunch of different steps to it. It says it takes 119.5 seconds to pour it.
That's a long time.
Mainly,
I wasn't that patient. So you did a perfect pour. That was.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna get some cascading there.
Oh yeah. Nice cascade. Weirdly, everybody thinks that the bubbles are moving downwards, but actually what it is since we poured it down, it's all the bubbles trying to go out. Because like we said, it's nitrogen beer, so it's not CO2. Nitrogen hates liquids.
Gas wants to escape.
Exactly. I guess while we let that settle down, should we try just the Guinness Blonde?
Okay. I mean, twist my arm, sir.
One.
So on the SRM, that's what, about 5, 4?
Yeah, it's
a little golden.
You can tell it's not as bubbly as your nitro. You see how that's nice and creamy, big head
But this looks just black next to the blonde, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But they say the Guinness is actually ruby red.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a dark bar, it's going to look brown or black. They call it the black stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that makes it better or not, but I haven't had a Guinness Blonde in a long time.
You know, I had it when they first launched it, but I haven't had the Baltimore Blonde actually brewed right here in America, in Baltimore.
Do you know why it's a Baltimore Blonde? Because I don't. I guess I'm asking.
I think because it's brewed in Baltimore.
Well, and I'm sure I don't know if you remember from our first episode when we did Athletic Brewing, but we did their Golden Dawn, which was a golden ale compared to the blonde, and I think we got that one right, Chris and I. We got Guinness wrong though. Let's go back to Guinness. You want first sip?
Oh, all right, sure. It's so smooth.
It's so good. I love Guinness. My family went to Ireland back in 2018, I'd say, for St. Patrick's Day, and went to Guinness, and I'm pretty sure I paid their lease fee
For that
daily. God, it's super light, smooth.
Deceptive, the color, you know, because you don't really get a lot of weight on the palate. It's not thick. It doesn't sit in your stomach real heavy. Extra stout is on.
Pour me some, and then if
Right.
you want to take the bottle, that's a lot darker than that blonde, isn't it?
It is. It makes great brownies.
That's what you were saying right before we started this. Cooking with Keith, coming soon.
Guinness brownies. You know, you can really just like Betty Crocker box that shit. Take the milk, take the eggs, throw that shite out, right? Pour in Guinness instead for about the same amount of liquids that you would have used in your brownie batter. Just pour in Guinness and then bake it. And they're chewy, they're a bit dense, I'm not gonna lie. But it's really one of the most chocolatey, satisfying goddamn little snacks that you could ever hope to ingratiate your taste buds with.
Definitely a little more toffee kind of flavor to that one.
The roasted malts really come through.
Oh yeah.
Very, very well toasted beer. And after a few of them, you can be well toasted too.
5.6%. What was the
4.7?
4.7?
God, yes, right.
I don't know. I thought you said it with such confidence. I thought
Well,
that was just the answer.
Tell me it's 4.7.
You guys let us know if he was right or not. Well, I'm gonna slam this.
So I taste it.
How about, before we move on from Guinness, you make us one of these half and half.
All right, well, so, basically, a little bit of blonde beer. It's even branded Guinness, right? A little spoon. And basically all that does is that gives the nitrogen a chance to, hopefully, dark beer will float along.
If you flip it and pour it backwards.
Oh, pour backwards, sure. The dark beer will actually float on top of the light beer. A lot of people will think that it's more dense, so it would sink to the bottom, but it's a lighter beer. And it's a good drink, too. I mean, it's,
Are we ready to drink it?
Yeah, have some. By all means. You've never had a half and half. Get a good keep it going, have a little bit more, so there you go.
Yeah, that's oddly best of both worlds.
Uh-huh.
That's super good. That's wildly good. Before we move on from Guinness, there was one more fact that I found in here. In the early 1950s, Guinness Book of World Records was actually figured out in a pub by one of the managing director at Guinness at the time, Sir Hugh Beaver. Went on a hunting trip and they got into an argument about the fastest game bird in Europe. And nobody could find the answer, so they decided that the company would compile a book of facts, which is now like who has longest fingernails, weird, stupid shit like that. Might as well move on to the old Irish Red from Mr. George Killian's. So this is definitely going to be a little bit different style. It's not going to be as dark, I don't think, as the Guinness is. Since it's not black, it's ruby red.
Well, there's a true Irish Red, huh?
Oh yeah. Nice red color, nice red label. Do a little cheers on that one.
Sure.
What's the word again?
Slante.
Slante. That nice bread flavor to it. All right, should we do
a left hand?
The left hand.
Pour hard, kids.
I mean,
it's left for losers.
Yes. 6%, 25 IBUs. You do pour these hard, don't you? We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna try it.
They've got this saying at Left Hand, they like their beers poured hard, and that means straight up and down.
Ooh. Straight up and down because they have what in the bottom?
Nitrogen capsule that is currently just spitting gas out this way as you pour it down in the glass.
So they created this thing they called a widget. It looks like a top hat in the bottom of the can that allows all the nitrogen out. Just like if you hear sounds like a paint can, there's a little paintball thing in there full of nitrogen. Same concept with a nice cascade, fallout. This one is America Stout, made down in Longmont. Yes. It's
I love their beers.
It's so good.
And that is just as creamy as the Guinness, but it's heavier and it's darker.
It definitely is heavier. A little more coffee, kind of, or is that like a smoked kind of flavor on the end?
I definitely get a lot of coffee notes in that. Almost like a roasted hazelnut or a roasted nut.
He's on it. Super smooth with soft roastiness and mocha nut. You go out St. Patrick's Day, you get all fucked up, you feel like shit in the morning. How else do you start the morning?
There's two ways. There's red beer or there's a Bloody Mary.
Just so happens we have the best damn Bloody ever.
That's a South Dakota favorite right there, sir.
South Dakota made.
Uh-huh.
I guess I've never heard of Hudson.
Well, I mean, it's a small town.
Yeah.
I mean, Hudson hasn't heard of us yet.
Then we're gonna mix it with Tito's. This is kind of my favorite, I think, for Bloody Mary because you know, like Zing Zang and all those other big brands, they're just
what I didn't like about Zing Zang or anything else, you had to. I felt like you kind of had to add more to get all of the spices that you get out of a premium Bloody Mary, like you do at, you've been to Vegas. They got a salad sitting atop your fucking glass, and it's brilliant. There's also just so many other. There's like a little bit of Worcestershire in there, or some bitters. You don't get all of those notes with just your average
cheap Bloody Mary mix.
Cheap Bloody Mary mix. Well, here's to drinking something better than
the premium stuff. It does contain shellfish.
You've got heat. You've got some savory notes. Mm-hmm. You've definitely got salty notes in there. It's really one of the most balanced mixes. But they say you pour down to the bell right here.
Yep. Into a glass.
And you mix that with, what, 3 ounces?
I believe so.
Then you take vodka. I think you down to the label.
Then
you fill this bottle back the fuck up with vodka and just give it a good go, right? And then the whole thing's pre-made.
To their standard. How smart is that? You have all these great options and go out, enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Then you can wake up in the morning and might as well start the car and put it in drive and get right back after it. Because the best thing is, St. Patrick's Day is on a Friday this year, kids. I think that's all the beer and fun stuff we have for today, unfortunately. thank you, Keith, for coming down and drinking with me.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, yeah, call a friend, call a cab. Thank you for calling a friend in on this one.
As always, know when you're drunk, get a ride home, drink responsibly, have a great St. Patrick's Day. I love it. Thanks, buddy.